In the wild, high-stakes race for AI dominance, it feels like a new challenger pops up almost every single week. But here's a thought. What if the winner has already been decided? We're about to break down a pretty compelling analysis that argues exactly who holds all the cards.
Yeah, this is the question in tech right now, isn't it? We're all bombarded with news about new models, incredible breakthroughs, but this analysis suggests that if you look at the structure of the race itself, the outcome is already kind of taking shape.
Now that is a bold statement. The whole argument here is that Google has quietly built such a powerful, interlocking set of advantages that its dominance feels, well, almost inevitable. So let's really dig into that idea, piece by piece. Okay, first things first. It all starts with the core intelligence, right? You can't even hope to compete in the AI race without having a truly world-class brain. And that means having the best research and, of course, the best models. And this advantage is really built on two massive pillars: the foundational research that basically created the field as we know it today, and the incredibly diverse suite of models Google is rolling out right now. And this is a point you absolutely cannot miss. Google didn't just join the AI race. In a very real way, they built the racetrack. The transformer architecture, the engine behind this entire AI revolution, that came directly out of a Google research paper back in 2017. And on that track they built, they're now running their Gemini family of models. Now look, OpenAI's GPT-4o is an incredible performance benchmark, no doubt. But Google has a totally different strategic play here, a full suite that scales all the way from massive cloud models down to Gemini Nano, which can run right on your phone. And that on-device capability, that is a crucial difference.
Okay, so you've got this amazing AI brain. Great, but how do you power it? How do you protect it? Well, that brings us to the second pillar of this argument, Google's unbeatable physical fortress.
And this fortress isn't just one thing, it's got three distinct layers of advantage: the custom chips the AI actually runs on, the global network of data centers that house all those chips, and the unique proprietary data that feeds the whole system. So check this out. This first layer reveals a massive strategic vulnerability for almost everyone else. See this chart? It shows this huge dependency on NVIDIA. While labs like OpenAI are completely reliant on buying NVIDIA's incredibly expensive chips, Google's been designing its own custom silicon, their TPUs, for over a decade. They literally control their own hardware destiny. And why does that matter? It means they control cost, they control supply, and they can perfectly optimize their software for their own hardware, creating a speed and efficiency advantage that almost nobody else can touch.
And this leads us to the core metaphor of this whole analysis: the landlord versus the tenants. Think about it. Google owns its own global data centers. They own the property. But companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, they're tenants. They're paying rent to run on Microsoft Azure or Amazon's AWS. And the crucial point is, this creates a complete strategic dependency on the very companies they're trying to compete against.
And what are they feeding these models inside their fortress? Data. And this is where Google has the ultimate cheat code: YouTube. While everyone else is scraping the web or paying for datasets, Google owns this constantly growing proprietary universe of video, audio, and text that is it's impossible for anyone else to replicate. All right, so you've got the brain and you've got the fortress to protect it. But what's the point if you can't get your AI into the hands of billions of people? Well, that's the third and final piece of the puzzle, the distribution flywheel. And this flywheel is this incredible self-reinforcing engine. It starts with Google's absolutely massive user base, it's funded by its unbelievable cash flow, and it just gets faster and faster with its ability to deeply integrate AI into, well, everything. I mean, just think about this for a second. With a single update, Google can push Gemini into search, into Android, into Workspace, into Maps, products that billions of people use every single day. An AI lab that's just a website and an API, there's just no way to compete with that kind of instant global reach. It's not even a fair fight. So how do they pay for all this? Well, Google's core search business is basically a cash printing machine that can fund this AI research and development forever. The pure AI labs, on the other hand, are burning through cash at a mind-boggling rate. That makes them completely reliant on their investors, who are often the giants themselves, just to keep the lights on. And it's not just about pushing out new features. Remember Gemini Nano, the on-device model? By integrating AI directly into the Android operating system, it becomes a part of the phone's actual foundation. This is a level of deep on-device integration that pure cloud-based services just can't match. It offers huge advantages in speed, in privacy, and offline capability. Honestly, it's a real game changer for the user experience.
So we've walked through the brain, the fortress, and the flywheel.
Let's pull it all together now and see what the final scorecard actually says.
So when you boil it all down, this analysis says there are really only two kinds of players in this game. First, you have the full-stack giants, the ones who control every single part of the chain. And then you have the pure model labs, who are brilliant at building models, but are dependent on those giants for literally everything else.
And, wow, here's the scorecard. The numbers really don't lie. The full-stack giants, Google, Microsoft, Apple, they score nearly perfectly across the board. Now look at OpenAI. Yes, brilliant models, but look at those scores for hardware, infrastructure. They are almost completely dependent. I mean, look at that final score. 94 versus 40. That's not a close race. That's a blowout.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway from this whole thing. Just building a great model, it's not enough. In the long run, this is a full-stack war, and there are only a tiny handful of players who have the resources to even show up on the battlefield.
In this final quote, Manages nails it. It perfectly captures the strategic reality for even the most famous AI labs. They are brilliant, world-changing components, but they are still just one part of a much, much larger machine that's owned and operated by those full-stack giants.
So that's the big idea I want to leave you with. When you really look at the landscape this way, it forces you to ask a tough question. Are we actually watching a race between equals, or are we just watching the most valuable components get snapped into place inside empires that have already been built?